Shalom, shalom. Call halal Yahweh by Shem Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. To the confusion of faith joined unto our ranks. To the hopefully elect, the Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say shalom. It's your brother Malcolm coming at you with another lesson. This is going to be part 2 / a response to the elder Taza Dakbar's video. His video that was called the letters of Benjamin Franklin, the essay that he wrote in 1751. And I did a video last week called in 1681 Whiteness Was Born, and in 2019 it died. And the video was labeled that is because the hardcore truth, truthfully it was 2018, because it was 2018 when I discovered the teachings and the historical evidence presented by the scholar Theodore Allen, Dr. Jacqueline Battalora, and Dr. Robin DiAngelo. But we'll leave it as it is. It's 2019. And all across the board, from the elders on down, the information is coming out about Esau Edom and how he falsified his nationality and created the title of whiteness. You know, this new group of humanity which popped up out of nowhere in 1681. And it basically is a pseudoscience, because you had false science that was created behind this, based upon this false creation. So you got Darwinism and the dude, what was the dude, Charles Murray, that wrote the bell curve, all this information that came out after the falsified creation, which we could prove down to the date when it was created. But before we get into that, let's read a scripture. And the scripture is in the book of Obadiah, I'm close. I think it's the 6th verse in Obadiah. You know, searching out Esau. Yeah, this is Obadiah 6, and it reads, "How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up?" So Esau has hidden himself, and his latest invention is whiteness. Because prior to 1681, there was no group of people that was referred to as white. During the time of Rome, they called themselves the Romans. Before that, they called themselves the Grecians, and then from everything in between, you know, going back from Greek to Rome until now. But whiteness didn't come about until 1681, because you will not find a piece of literature or history anywhere that says anything about anyone being white until after 1681. That's fact. Proven. Fact. So in the video that the Apostle Ramlat did, he highlighted a video of Dr. Jacqueline Battalora giving a speech to a group of college kids, or to an audience of college students. And she made some bold statements. She said that white people did not exist before 1681 AD. And then she made a second claim, was number 2. She said, any claim that group of people is rooted in nature or biology is a lie, which it is, because it's a made-up concept. All right. And then the third one, she said white supremacy was embedded in American law from its founding, from its inception. All right. And then she shared the legal history that proves it. Now you got to think, in 1681, they came up with this concept because of a rebellion, and to separate the poor whites from the poor blacks, so-called, and the poor natives and all the other poor people. And they gave the poor whites something called whiteness, which gave them privileges in society that put them over and above all the people of color. And all so-called white people have benefited from this and ran with it. All right, for those of them who claim how they're not guilty and, you know, they're being made the scapegoat, no, they've all benefited from this lie, and they created pseudoscience to cover and protect it, to keep it going. Things like the IQ, which is really, you know, just another made-up thing that was falsified in their favor, right? Which they couldn't even keep that up because they had to cheat even beyond that with this latest college scandal is proof of that, all right? Which they've been doing that all along, all right? Then you had in the 1700s, you had the birth of Darwinism. You had Johann Blumenbach, and then Darwinism behind that. So they created science to defend the lie which they had created, which they had made up. All right? And it's really insane when you think about it. And they've all been, and when I say they all, I mean the Edomites, so-called white people, have enjoyed this roller coaster ride, this fun ride of this falseness of whiteness as a defense. Because it's fact, they don't get racially profiled by the police. They were able to get home loans, business loans, college loans, and all sorts of goodies. They were able to take people to court, sue people, and people of color could not do that against them certain periods of time, which allowed them to get a massive head start on all the other people, especially the so-called black man. All right. So let's fast forward to 1781, 51, which was 70 years later, with the letter that Benjamin Franklin, the essay which he had published, which has been exposed by the beloved elder Taza Dakbar. All right, those videos, you know, the first one he did, it was on another elder's page, and then he put one up on his own, you know, and the videos are just fire because it's a crippling blow, the final blow to this lie which has been exposed about this so-called whiteness. But Ben Franklin's essay exposed that the Negroes ruled in Germany and all of Europe, for that matter, you know, and they were calling them the Palatine Moors, which basically meant, or Boers, which basically broke down to Low German farmers. All right, and then you go back to the time frame that he was talking about in this letter. That was in the mid 1700s, and there are coats of arms showing you that Negroes were still in rulership in the 1700s. Because remember, in times past, you know, I actually had to readjust my history because in 1491, Portugal and Spain fell to the Edomites. All right, and I thought that all of Europe fell at that time, but that wasn't the case. No, the Germans, I mean, in Germany and Sweden and Russia, in different parts of Asia, Negroes were still ruling, and Benjamin Franklin's letter is proof of it. As I'm going to read some of the letter that I actually wrote down, and that letter, and here's some of the part that I wrote down. It said that the number of purely white people in the world is proportionately small, which when it matches up with the scripture in Obadiah when it says you have been made small among the heathen. Because the truth of the matter, they are the minority, always have been. All right, and this is why they lie, and they categorize people of color as Caucasian when they come to America. Only in America, though, because a lot of these people, different Indians and Palestinians, Hamites from Africa, you know, they come to America and they get labeled as Caucasian to their own surprise. All right. Then he also wrote, all of Africa is black or tawny, which meant dark skin or medium brown. Tawny meant. Asia is chiefly tawny. They were brown skin. Because you got to remember, the Asians, to a couple Moabites just walked by. Moab, there are a lot of dark Moabites in China and in Asia. Throughout Asia, I've been there. I've seen them. A lot of them were darker than I am. in Cambodia, in Thailand, in China, in Japan. Lots of dark ones. All right. So those really light ones are the result of all that mixing with Esau. Okay. Then he also wrote, French, Russian, Swedes are generally of what we call swarthy complexion. When you look up the word swarthy, it says dusky, brown skin, black. All right, because they used to call the Scots. They used to talk about the swarthy scores of the Scots, the swarthy hordes of the Scots. As a matter of fact, even in the Jewish people with their Yiddish form of Hebrew, because they claim that it's Hebrew when it's not, it's Yiddish. The word Schwarzer means black. All right. So it says Russians, Swedes, French, Russians, and Swedes are generally of what we call swarthy complexion, as are the Germans also. The Saxons only, except who are English, make up the principal body of white people or the fate on the face of the earth. And then it says, and they will never adapt our ways, as they can never adapt our complexion. So he was admitting that the Russians, the French, the Swedes are generally, and all the Asians too, were dark. Many of them so-called black people. That's what this letter proves beyond a shadow of a doubt. So the Swedes as well. And because, because you get to fast forward to now, Thor and every Viking and all that, everybody's blind with blue eyes, which is a fabricated lie. This is evidence. So I'm going to read a couple more scriptures and close this out. The lying lips of Esau must be stopped, man. This is Proverbs, the book of Proverbs. Let's go find Proverbs. (17) and 7. And it reads, excellent speech becometh not a fool, much do less lying lips in a prince. All right, so lying lips is just a wicked act, a wicked thing to do, man. And Esau is the prince of lying. Hell, the scripture says they come out of the womb lying, man. Okay, this is Psalms. It's kind of windy out here, Salakia. And I'm operating without a camera stand, so this is Psalms 120 and 2, and it reads 120 Salakia, not 120 and 2. (120 and 7). And it says, Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil, and he shall preserve thy soul. So he's going to preserve us from these lies which these Edomites have told, man. All right. And this is Jeremiah 31 and 18. And it reads, let the lion lips be put out, be put to Salakia. Let the lion lips be put to silence, which speaks grievous things proudly and contemptuously against the righteous. So the claim that the Israelites were white, that the Europeans were so-called white, that's a lie, because those were all originally Japhetic people. And Japhetic people are brown-skinned people, not so-called white people. And the last scripture is going to be 1 Samuel's 2 and 3. And it reads, talk no more so exceedingly proudly, let not arrogancy come out of your mouth, for Yahweh is the power of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. So Esau's actions have been weighed, and his judgment is going to be destruction and death. Call halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Nabashai Ba'ashem Rakakwadash and Wa Abba Babal.